Alright, good morning everyone. This is Generic Fool's Test. I am sorry about yesterday where I didn't really play much of the game. I will. I'm not going to play Demon Slayer in the morning because I don't. Well, I don't want to play something where I could get distracted before and then not be able to finish up something before work. Yeah, sorry, I need to stop my alarms. I'm one of those people who sometimes falls asleep and has difficulty. 1 second. Um, so I'm going to play Parodius again, and hopefully I'm going to do a better job. Though anyone who's a long-time viewer will know that my skills at video games are very, very poor. But anyways, I realized I didn't have my emulator up. Let's see. So now, hi, nice to see you. Just a random person. Good morning, or at least it's good morning from where I am. Though depending on who you are, some people would say 3 a.m. is still the night. For a baking job, there are people who wake up at. My boss shows up at work at like 1 a.m. Yeah. Well, I do too. Yeah. Alright. Let's see. So you're playing The Sims again. I guess you really like it. That's good to hear. I can't find Parodius on my list. The problem is that, like, as you can see, there's all these different things on it and so Parodius should be. Wait. Okay. There. Wait, no, that's Parasite Eve. There we go. Fresh boot. Oh, well, that's weird. Because I keep getting notifications that it's like, you're on Sims 4. And it's just like, oh, okay. But I'll just put this here. Let's go. No. Well, sometimes things happen. Or maybe it has something in the settings where it's saying it opens up, or I'm gonna lower it a little bit. I should lower it on my end too, because it's a little loud in my ear. Alright. You might want to. Well, that's thinking about what could possibly happen if it says you're on. Do you share your account with anyone? Well, no, it's probably not like that. Alright, well. I shouldn't say that, otherwise that might make you worried. I just noticed now it makes a little whirr. No, it should be fine, but if it continues showing up that, like, you're on something when you're really not, then you may want to check about that. Oh, Try the penguin. Also, it's sort of funny. You know, yesterday's video, since I played copyrighted music, I thought I would have the audio muted a bunch on the video. Oh. No, maybe you just forgot to close it. That could be another thing. But yeah, I sometimes do forget to close games. Or I did, rather. I stopped after I lost all of my progress because it desynced with Steam. That's the original reason, one of the reasons I stopped streaming for a while, like years ago when I started, because I spent weeks working on a game called Disgaea, and then literally after, you know, like grinding in the game for days, it just, I tried loading it one time and it was like, hey, long wall of text, and I'm just like, oh, okay, whatever. And it turned out that I had desynced from Steam, so it's like, we're going to load the last save file that's synced to your Steam account. I'm like, okay, that should be fine. Little did I know that was over a week ago. So I lost a week's worth of progress in Steam. God, that was really annoying. Oh yeah, especially since for that entire week I had spent the entire time, like every single day when I was not at work, I was leveling up and just spending as much time as I could. Since this guy is an RPG, I was raising my character's level, doing a bunch of stuff. I unlocked a bunch of characters, only to find out that I in fact have lost everything. That was so disheartening. Well, you know, once again, it seems I forgot that it's important not to run into the enemy. By the way, why is it that when I die in this game, a bunch of bells appear? Strange. But anyways, the Demon Slayer game, does it work correctly? Just making sure on your PC. That's good, because I find that some games don't always work well if your computer is not of a high enough performance. I'm lucky in that I've spent way too much money on, you know, my current computer, so it's very few things will not work on it unless, you know, it's specifically meant for like a like VR or something like that, because I don't have a VR headset. But yeah. At the same time, not many people have as big of a disposable income as I did when I made this PC. Well, I didn't make it, I basically. Yeah, this is sort of funny. Like, I saved a bunch of money to be able to buy this PC, and then I bought a new chip during the chip shortage. I managed to actually get one, which was crazy. But the problem is, the chip I got was not compatible with Windows 11, which was sort of funny in a way. Although it all works out, because before the warranty went out, I managed to have a problem So they could figure out what the problem was, so they just replaced the motherboard and all the other stuff, so now it's Windows 11 compatible. Well, everything appears to be working fine now. This is actually the second computer I bought as an attempt to do streaming stuff. Because the first one I got, I knew what I wanted, but I let a friend convince me that to basically lower my standards, even though I had carefully thought out what I needed for streaming and stuff. You know, I always make it about me. Just a random person, what are you interested in? Or like, what do you want to do? Or what's your job? Or what do you know, like, what are your interests? I know you like the Demon Slayer game, but I mean, like as I mentioned, I work in a bakery. I mainly do manual labor, but it's alright. Is there a particular style of art you enjoy? Or do you just like, you know, like drawing, painting? I used to do some painting, but that was mostly for like when I was taking art classes in college. Still, I enjoyed it. Man, as I said, I always make things about myself. I hope I'm not mumbling too much. I'm gonna try moving the microphone a little bit closer. Yeah. I actually bought, years ago, I bought a pretty good tablet for that's supposed to be for drawing. But my problem is I bought a tablet that's too small. I have big hands, and so basically, and I'm dead. But you know, I should have bought a bigger tablet. At the time, I could just decide, well, you know, the smaller one's cheaper. But it ended up, you know, not suiting my needs, and then it wouldn't calibrate properly, and then, you know. And of course, by traditional, do you mean like realistic, or, you know, like classical European style? I used to be able to do those, but so as some people would say, real art. But, no. Like, do you want to try pursuing art as a potential job, or are you going to try and, like, being a full-time artist isn't always easy. Especially since, oh, and I'm gone. Well, that. Remember, fool, you're not supposed to ram into the enemies. This isn't 40K. Ramming is not a viable option. Um, well, as somebody who is not great at, well, being an artist can be very difficult. Um, I'm, I mean, I'm sure you don't need me to tell you that, but it's always good to have a backup plan, just in case. Because, well, first of all, I don't know how good your art is, so I can't exactly, say anything, because for all I know, you are secretly the greatest artist of our generation. And I wouldn't know anything about that. But, just gonna give you some of the generic feedback that, I find helps, which is, always keep at it. Try to practice at the very least. Try to practice a few hours every day if you can. What? Did the nuke just go off in the background? What the heck? Also, once again, attempting to give advice while also simultaneously playing a game which requires your attention is not very easy. I can't. I'm having trouble telling whether. Oh, didn't get as far as I have the last few times. For doing art, and that's as somebody who's taken art classes, as well as has a few artist friends, it's good to make sure that you have especially if you're doing it digitally, a decent computer or a tablet to draw, and also make sure it works. It can be expensive, but it's always good to make sure that you have God, I'm really awful at multitasking. What the heck? I'm just seeing what is that red thing? Oh, I thought it was like in the other games where you can go through the circles. God, I'm trying to give advice while also basically sounding nonsensical. Yeah. Like I said, if you can, well, I don't know how, this might sound obnoxious or not, and I hope it doesn't, but if you can try talking to people who are in the industry that that's always a good thing. I have, as I said, a friend or two who, well, one of my friends could probably be a full-time artist, but he doesn't want to do that, or well, no, he wants to do that, but he just doesn't have the finances to be able to do that. Plus, being an artist doesn't exactly provide you health benefits or medical benefits. So you need to sort of figure out I hate trying to. I try to be a realist, so I'm not trying to go like, give up your dreams! Or something like that, because, you know, that's. I'm somebody who's had to give up my dreams 3 times. My 3 different dreams. Because the reality of them basically just meant that I would not have been able to, you know, achieve it. But, or, you know, something would have gotten in the way. But, temper your dreams with, like, reality, so that way you can more likely have your dreams occur. If that makes sense. God, I'm probably not making any sense at all. Also, I hope I'm not trying to. I don't sound arrogant. I have done some. As I said, I've done some art. I'm by no means was a really good artist. There were some things I was somewhat decent at. Like when I was in high school, I was pretty good at drawing clothing, as well as drawing, like, I guess, mecha style characters and machines. I don't know, I keep pushing it. For this game, I can just hold it down. I mean, that's not much, just, I forgot to ask, like, are you in college, or are you, like, because, you know, if you're already in college, then, and you're taking classes regarding that, like, art, then my recommendations are pointless. So I have no idea. For all I know, you're far more experienced than me and my friend. That's... Okay. Yes, I'm sorry. I sort of unintentionally said that. That is good. I should not have asked that question. I'm sorry. Don't reveal, like, stuff. Like that. Because you don't know, for all you know, as I said, I'm a mega creep. But yeah, yeah, sorry about that. I mean, even I don't really want to reveal my age. Although, from a few things I've said, people can at least guess how old I am. Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, God, it's like I'm trying to do the... Hey, how fast can you be a creep and turn off your subscribers special? Yeah. Oop. Do you have a drawing tablet, or are you, you know, like, what medium do you prefer to use when you're drawing? I guess I'd say. I guess I'll... not the penguin. I'll try the octopus. Yeah. When I was younger, they didn't really have those. Or, well, they may have had them. I wasn't really looking into them. When I was younger, I didn't really... I did academically pretty well, so, you know, I got sort of arrogant and was like, oh, hey, no matter what I do, I'll be fine. And then things weren't fine. But anyways, Do you have an account? Well, you don't need to tell me what your account is or where it is. I'm just saying, do you do commissions or anything like that? Because that can be a good way. My friend is now, at least according to him, he is a artist of. He has a somewhat large following. I mean, if I told you him, you probably wouldn't know him at all. But he's managed to, make money or more money through his art than through. Okay. Well. Okay then. In that case, as I said, it's a good idea to try and, like, as I mentioned before, it's just keep drawing. Draw as much as you draw or paint, or, well, painting's a bit more expensive, so keep practicing. Practice as much as you can. And try and figure out what site or what, whatever thing you're going to use to try and, like, what thing you're going to put your art on. Doing commissions is good. Like, my friend wanted to do a different style of art, but he ended up doing furry stuff, which he wasn't exactly happy about, but now he does it because the furry fans and people pay a lot of money. But, that's probably... it is something to say that you've never compromised on your artistic vision, or you've never had to do certain things, but for most people, they don't have, the luck or, the basically chance to immediately have success. And also, I guess, since it sounds like you haven't really posted much, just remember, there's going to be a bunch of people out there that are going to start trying to convince you that you suck at everything. And if they're just people online, then screw them. They're haters. Now, if someone's telling you, how to improve, and is actually trying to give you constructive criticism, then, you can listen to them, but otherwise, just try to ignore it. Remember, on the internet, there's a lot of haters and a lot of people who just want to say nasty things to you, probably because their life sucks and they're just trying to get their kicks. And if you're not exactly sure or don't have your own personal style, just try experimenting with different styles, there's different things. Try to, watch some tutorials, even if you think that you're very good at things. Gaining a perspective on different, art styles or, methods, even if you never intend to use those methods, can expand your options, or at the very least help you, understand things more. Just because my friend for a long time thought that he knew everything he should about art, and then he actually took classes, and then he was like, wait a second, I didn't know that knowing perspective or knowing this would be important or helpful. So one thing you need to be careful of is ignorance. Now, being ignorant isn't exactly a negative thing. Now, people seem to use ignorant as an interchangeable thing with calling someone stupid. But ignorance is just a lack of knowledge. If you don't know something, and you're not willing to ask to, learn about said thing, then, that is when ignorance bleeds into stupidity, in my opinion. But if you're, sort of just like, what, you didn't know about this extremely specific thing? How could you? That's so stupid. But, as I said, if you want to learn, it's always important to try to cure your ignorance. If you just feel awkward for asking when it's something that you really needed to know, then you're just making it worse for yourself. I failed a few classes because I missed a subject, and as a result I ended up failing the class because I never learned about that one thing that I missed in class, and everything in that class built upon that one thing I missed. That's just me being dumb. But I really hate how people are like, you don't know that? Oh my god, you're so stupid or ignorant. It's just like, if you don't know something, asking questions about it is always good. In my opinion, it's dumber just to not. Because then you just end up with a bunch of people who don't know anything and are just like, oh yeah, I totally know that. So always try to learn as much as you can, or at least that's the opinion of me. Though having said that, you also have to be careful about some classes. When a class is taught well or has a good teacher, then it is 100% worth taking it. But the problem is if you have a bad teacher or, an extremely lackluster instructor, then you should just save your money. Because there are absolutely some teachers who just phone it in, as they say, where it's like, please turn to this page. You must follow exactly as it says in the textbook. Teacher, can you help explain this one subject? No. Where those people aren't really trying to, they're not really trying to, make things better for people. They're just basically trying to get, a pension. So, if you have a teacher who died. If the teacher of your class is willing to, help you out of class and give you instruction like that, then that's... I got killed by fat little deer spinning around in circles, or doing a corkscrew in the air. What? Okay. Alright. But, mainly finding someone who can help you with classes or not with classes. Well, finding someone who can help you with classes is good too, but finding people to help you figure out different things or give you a perspective. If you can find somebody who you know can be honest with you and, you know, isn't afraid of calling out when you do something wrong or when something's not good, but at the same time is, you know, willing to be honest. Like, a critical person can be good if, you know, they're fair. I guess I'll use the pig, since the pig I did pretty well the first time. Like, you want to make sure that if you have somebody who's not going to just inflate your ego, but at the same time you want to make sure you don't, like, or try to avoid people who are going to just constantly take a dump on you. Because, you know, life is hard, and you don't need somebody just trying to bring you down. I'm sorry if I'm sounding awfully generic. What? Are the bells actually something you collect? I've been shooting power-ups. I am annoyed. I am so annoyed. Oh man, it's a shame I can't get all those things I got. Like, you know, I lost. Or like, wow, those bells seem to be indestructible. God, people who know this game who are watching are like, what is this moron doing? Like, I was on a platform called DeviantArt when I was in high school. I used to do post a bunch of things on there. Photography, fan fiction, just like regular art, drawing. When I was even in college, I was in DeviantArt for a bit, and I uploaded some of my like sketches and paintings and stuff I did. I actually even had posted a picture of what I really look like, because at that time I didn't really think about it or care. Of course, you know, after getting stalked, you were like, yes, I would like it if people do not, like, you know, are not able to fully recognize who I am and where I live. But yeah. So, as I said, I don't know, like, how much, well, as I said, it should be obvious, but just don't reveal too much about where you are, or who you are, or where you live, or things like that. I mean, I'm assuming you're not a moron like me, or at least like I was when I was younger, so I have no idea about your, well, I'm going to stop that. Just, like I said, always be careful on the internet. You never know if someone's trying to take advantage of you or something like that. Taking out the panda. What's the new thing? You said you enjoy realistic, or, you know, like the classical art. Is there anything in particular you prefer to draw in that style? Like landscapes, people, objects? because once again I realize that I'm making everything about myself. Ah, like portraits or more like real life? Like, what I mean is like, you know, somebody actually posing for the picture, or just people moving about their day without realizing that they're necessarily sketching them or painting them. No. Yeah. I was always a bit too anxious to talk to people and ask them if they would mind doing portraits. Though I have to be honest. I have with my artist friends, they've talked about when they've had nude models come in for, you know, the portraits, and clearly, like, it's just like, yeah, some weird guy came in and to be the model, and clearly he was clearly well, no, I'm gonna stop right there. Clearly they were a bit too interested in the whole being painted while they were in the nude. Which, you know, okay. Yeah, it's just lock me, baby. What the foot stick? What in the world? I do not know what was. Why were there those? Why was that text there? Why was it saying things like Stinko or whatever? I don't know, I'm sorry. It's also, I'm seeing weird things on screen and going back and I'm not making any sense, am I? I'm going like, what is this random thing? Like, art advice, art advice, art advice, all of a sudden going into like, oh hey, the game. Sorry about that. I guess I'll ask this. Have you taken any, like, I'm not going to ask that question because I just realized that could, well, whatever. I don't know. What's the highest, well, no, that's not the good thing. I was going to talk about what's the highest art class you've taken, but, you know, that could be also another thing. But as I said, don't answer that question, don't do that. And just, what is your preferred medium when doing it? Paint or, do you prefer, like, you know, pencil? I mean, you also use, obviously, the, like, your tablet, but, right. Well, that's good because pencil's cheaper. Or, well, it's cheaper than paint. And, you know, with paint, there's a lot of... what? Toaster overheated, no... what? I'm sorry, if you're just, like, if you're listening to this in the background, for some reason I had a little megaphone thing, and it kept saying random stuff. Like, toaster overheated! But yeah, pencil is cheaper, and I think it's a bit easier, because, you know, if you use real paint, then it can be kind of difficult or time-consuming to, you know, fix the paint, or if you make a mistake. Which, you know, as much as some people turn their nose up at, like, a digital painting, it is so much easier to just undo your mistakes and not have to worry about having to start over again from scratch. Or, God forbid, you accidentally spill your paint on everything, which is no. You do use like? Oh, of course that question might be insulting. I'm sorry, but you probably know this, and I'm sorry if you already do. But do you use the different thicknesses of pencil? Because as I said, I've met some people who don't know that a number 2 pencil is called a number 2 pencil because it refers to the type of lead. I don't understand. I've met people who are like supremely ignorant, but because they always felt like, they were too ashamed to ask about stuff, or they thought that they knew everything when they really didn't. The less people know about a subject, the more they think they are an expert on it. Kind of like the guys who go like, hey, I think I could fight a bear with my fists. It's like, no, you can't. Most people don't know how big bears actually are. But yeah. Is there a preferred, well, I mean, that was a dumb question on my part. I guess, since you have difficulty, okay, that might be a bit personal of a question, I just realized. I have to be careful when I'm autopiloting my mouth, because as I said, I don't always think about what I'm saying or realizing how it comes across. So I need to make sure I don't ask questions where it sounds like I'm trying to mine data out of you. Or, just like that. By the way, if you think I'm asking too many personal questions, or just bugging you, just tell me to stop or be quiet. The last thing I want to do is make you feel uncomfortable or make you feel like I'm being a creep. It might be awkward to say things like stop it or be quiet, but just do it. Don't let somebody make you feel bad. Also, you said yesterday you liked baking. Is there a particular thing you enjoy baking? Like, sorry, died in the game. Do you like baking cakes or cookies or various things, or anything in particular? A particular style, or just the regular, like sheet cakes? Like a cake I was known for making back when I did actually bake for people is I would make like a chocolate chip shortcake, which is, I guess, closer to an actual shortcake than what a lot of people should call a shortcake these days, which is it's more like a cake, a simple cake. Well, okay, you don't have, not really able to focus specifically. Oh no, my attention being divided as it is, I don't think I could properly go into detail about stuff and make sense. But so thinking about subject at the time. Like, is there a style of cake that you're good at making? Like, do you like red velvet or oh, that one the game. Or do you like making, well, just anything, just regular chocolate cake, or using cake mixes? Because I mean, hey, if you enjoy baking but don't have time, making a cake mixes. Ah, yeah. Do you make it the traditional way, or do you make it the modern way? It's time for me to be a slight nerd. What I mean by traditional is, red velvet cakes were originally made red by using, like... Oh, so you use beets to make the red velvet cake red. Or did you... Well, that's good, because so many people I know, when they hear that, red velvet cakes used beets to make it red, they're like, ew! It's just like, you don't even... I could give it to you and you wouldn't even realize that there were beets in there. It's not like you're using enough beets to make it taste like a beet cake. You're just adding enough to make the cake red. I'm gonna put bad. How did I get ranked 1? Okay, that's weird. It's not saving my previous scores. No. What, got you into baking? As I said, for me, I just enjoyed making stuff for other people. I'll try the octopus again. What I mean is just one of... oh god, that might be too personal. Alright, I'm sorry, I was gonna basically just say oh, did a parent get you into baking? Or did you just see it and start getting into it like that? I'm sorry. I'm used to asking certain questions whenever I talk to people. So I do that in real life too, and I'm sort of trying to remember you shouldn't ask those questions. Might be fine, if you're talking to someone in real life, but you don't want to ask that online. When I told my mother I got a few followers, they're just like, oh, okay, Adam, what, did you ask them how old they are? Where are they from? Where's this other stuff? Mom, I can't ask them that online. That's too much information. It's just yeah. And it's just, it's sort of weird. I've picked up the habits of both my parents. Did I actually say hobbits before? Yes, I picked up my parents. They're both hobbits. Yeah, sorry about that. But, from my mother, I picked up the habit of talking too much, or asking too many questions. And from my father, I picked up the habit of stopping talking when I should probably not stop talking, or, continue talking or asking questions. Alright, well, I'm just sort of trying to think about... As a streamer, I need to be entertaining, or at the very least try not to be boring. So I'm sorry about that. Hey, at least I'm not trauma dumping. Yeah. Trying to think if there's anything I can say that would actually not sound like generic thing that everyone knows. Especially since, you know, as I said, I did learn perspective and a bunch of other things regarding to art because, like, okay, well, I kind of made some mistakes because I mislabeled something I wanted to do. I wanted to be a game designer, but instead I was like, oh, there are graphics in games, so I guess what I want to do is called a graphic designer. So I learned graphic design, which, you know, it's not exactly a, subject that's, it might be good to learn graphic design because that would help you with editing. And also, you know, it's a potential backup job, I guess. Because, you know, being able to design things like logos and posters and other things. And also, it's a job that's not exactly easy. Not that I know if you actually have any interest in that type of thing. You know about graphic design? Oh, okay. Oh, well, then I guess I don't need to explain it, because, as I said, I've known some people that don't really know much about stuff, so figuring out what would be considered common knowledge and what would be not common knowledge is, sort of difficult. I walked right into that. Once again, a nuke came off in the game. Alright, so, yeah. So, if you learn graphic design, that might be... What is that little... Sorry about that. I'm getting distracted by the game and making no sense with trying to talk or give advice, and I'm also crashing. I am failing at everything. Oh my god. But yeah, being able to learn how to edit things, like when I was taking classes regarding, I had a mentor who taught me graphic design, and it was rather interesting. I already died, I can't believe that. I learned how to, I've also already forgotten most of the stuff that I learned from him, but I learned how to basically filter people out, or how to edit people out of an image. And it's rather interesting, because once you start taking graphic design and you've gotten to a certain point, you can start seeing in images and pictures how people have, edited stuff out. So for some people, an image might look like, yeah, this is a normal image, but when you look at it, you'd be like, oh my god, I can't believe they did such a shoddy job at covering up, like the people. Clearly, there's like a line here showing that they were working on, like, oh yeah, the bells are. That could not be done. Little cat. Keep forgetting that the bells are important. I'm sorry. But yeah, it's sort of... Yeah, I'm sorry, I keep getting distracted by certain things and wondering what the heck it is in-game. Yeah, but it's a useful skill to have, potentially. It could also potentially help you when you're doing digital art with better cutting out things, or, you know. Well, I don't know. As I said, I don't want to push anything on you, but graphic design can potentially pay well, too, I think. So, you know, it's just like, as I was saying, always follow your dream, but just, I guess, you know, at least I'm an American, and in America, saying that you give up on your dream is sort of a really bad thing. But at the same time, there are certain things which can just, you know, lead you to, you know, sometimes if you don't have talent in something, no matter how much you sort of want to do it, it's not worth pursuing. Like, as I said, learning when not to give up is very important, but knowing when to quit is also important. That doesn't just, by saying that, I don't mean like, oh, this is slightly hard, let me quit. Like, when I took martial arts, one of the people I trained under talked about that, and basically, to prove the point, they basically said, let's say you want to be a lawyer, and I died. Sorry, I keep getting distracted by everything. This game has so many weird little things, it's highly distracting when it comes to, you know, on my own, this wouldn't be bad, but when you're trying to give honest advice, it's hard. But, basically, okay, what was I saying? Oh, yes. If you, let's say, for an example of, you know, when not giving up becomes sort of an issue. Let's say you wanted to become a lawyer, which I know you don't want to be a lawyer, I'm just using that as an example. I'm also saying that because I've told people that, like, I don't want to be a lawyer. I know you don't want to be a lawyer. I'm using an example. But, and you keep failing your exams, and, you know, it takes you like 90 years to get your license. Now, once again, it is something that you actually achieved it and you finally got that, your license. I'm not trying to say that it isn't worth that, but if it took you that long to get it, then who's going to want to hire you? Because, you know, you're a 90-year, you're like a 100-year-old lawyer who's never had a case. Which, you know, like, so I guess, you know, for me, I'll give examples why I've given up on dreams, because that sounds a bit too far-fetched, you know, like the 90 years stuff. The reason I gave up on several of my dreams is, well, some of them were relating to my condition. Like, as I mentioned, I have Asperger's, so I don't read. Granted, that sort. So I don't really read social cues very well. Oh god, I got a useless upgrade. And the result of that is I basically just... Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm facing a boss, so it's... Basically, for the first dream I had, which I wanted to be a marine biologist, I had to give up on that because, well, I have anxiety traveling to places I'm not familiar with, and, you know, if I'm going to be a marine biologist, unless, of course, you know, I'm one of the few, like, aquarium-based marine biologists, that's not a job that would have really worked, because I would have needed to travel or go to places which I, you know, as I said, wouldn't have felt comfortable going. That and after almost drowning, as I said. I'm so distracting with this. The second job I basically, dream I gave up on is I wanted to be a teacher, which is one of the reasons why I like trying to talk to tell people things or try helping people learn. But due to, you know, not being able to tell how I'm coming across, and, you know, I just decided that if I'm working with kids or anything like that, or like, you know, young adults or whatever, then I really can't afford to be misread because of how things are. The last thing I want is somebody to label me as, well, you know, somebody who likes children in not the good way. Like, I loved working with kids. But, you know, that's not something that you can really, you should really say. Well, I don't know, I enjoy teaching people about things and stuff like that, but I just realized that people could misread my actions, and I didn't want to, you know, chance it. It did make me feel sad because, as I said, I really felt like I really wanted to be one. As for game design, I then went on to game design. I really loved doing game design, but it's not exactly an easy subject or easy. Oh man, I can't get it. It's not really a easy field to get into, and there's a lot of exploitative practices. And my problem is I tend to overwork myself. Even in a job like my current one where I do not like, you know, it, and I'm just basically, I mean, even in my job which I don't like now, I work myself too hard, and I put everything I had into it. So if I had gone into game design, I probably would have been one of those people who worked themselves to, well, on life. And I mean, I wanted to go to Bethesda Softworks, or at least work somewhere in one of the ZeniMax-based things, but, you know, with how Bethesda is nowadays. Gosh, like, I mean, for some of the things, I should have probably continued persevering. For game design, I need to relearn basically everything for, you know, for me to actually pursue it. I need to buy an engine. And currently I'm trying to stream, so, you know, that's not going to work. I'm considering if I should try doing art again, because, you know, that's something I did enjoy. But, you know, like that. Oh look, it's a giant woman. All I wanna do is see you turn into a giant woman. A giant woman. Sorry. By the way, you mentioned you had a somewhat deep voice a for someone of the fairer sex, as they say. Have you ever tried singing? Do you have? I think it's, well, I mean, I have a great teacher, so, for me, it's an overall good experience. Though at the same time, my great teacher gets distracted by me constantly changing the subject, like talking about food or experiences or places that he's never seen or subject he doesn't know about. Because I can just do that. Or I'm just very good at, getting people distracted from what they should really be doing or focusing on. But learning how to, by doing by doing stuff like that, you can increase your vocal range, and also, just sometimes keep getting distracted with sound changes. You can basically increase your vocal range, and you can do a bunch of stuff like. I don't know. I've stopped talking as I'm trying to think about what I'm going to say, because my brain went on several different tangents. Like I try to sound like I'm well put together, which doesn't always work, but I wasn't always like this. I'm basically mimicking a bunch of people I respect, or my grandfather and my father, in the way that they speak. And trying to use a certain tone of voice to sort of... The tone of voice I use is in the range at which most people find it somewhat pleasant to listen to, which is why I sort of use it. And the sort of tone and frequency in which I talk, for some people, if they don't know what I'm actually saying, sounds like I actually know what I'm talking about. I'm actually just some idiot, but that's just the effects of it. So even though I'm very anxious about talking to people, I'm able to seem like I'm, actually not anxious. Even though most of the time I talk to people I don't know, I feel like I'm about to have a panic attack. I mean, online, it's a little easier for me because I just have to imagine that I'm not, or the person's... I just imagine I'm talking to myself because, that's easier. Because, if I were face to face with you, I'd probably be like, or like, just like that, but... I'm sorry for changing the subject so many times. I tend to... Well, you're familiar with me now that I go on tangents all the dang time. But, I'm trying to think about things you've told me and things I can say that could assist or offer help. Where's me? Oh, of course, I forgot. This is the European version of the game, so it's literally translated by the British. Which is why when you get the megaphone, it says so many weird things. It was like saying some slang or something. I find that what helps in talking to people, because even you do have to eventually talk to people, even if you don't like it. Think of a conversation or some topic that you can bring up that, you know, you're somewhat confident in, I guess? Or something that you could use to distract yourself? Because if you have that conversation and you can bring it up for, or hold it for a short period of time, you can sort of, you know, deal with the awkwardness of, you know, not being the best in social situations. The problem with being awkward in social situations is that when you think you mess up, or at least for me, you start actually messing up and start being more awkward. And you sort of just, or at least for me, I spiral into a case of, like, oh no, I'm screwing up. Oh god, I'm screwing up. And now I'm going to be more awkward. And oh god, and now I'm going to say do worse things. And now I'm going to be even worse. Oh god. I can't believe I said that. And then I start, you know, acting unhinged. Or rather, appearing unhinged. When really I'm just freaking out because I'm worried about making myself look like a fool or a weirdo. Unintentionally, by doing that, I've actually made myself look like a fool or a weirdo. When most people don't care. Still, even if intellectually I understand that, that doesn't mean that, you know, my brain will allow me to get away with that. I was just talking about that because, you know, you said the other day that you're sort of awkward at talking to people. And I remember a time when I was, well, I still am awkward. I'm just now better at covering it up. God, is what I'm saying actually even helpful or even, or at the very least entertaining? Well, probably not. It's probably neither. I'm sorry about that. I guess I'll just say, to improve in social situations as well as anything, you just need to keep practicing. Everyone starts out bad at things. And there's always someone better. Remember that. Don't, just because there's somebody who, you know, oh look, this person can draw better than you can in a quarter of the time. Just understand everyone's different. And just don't try to obsess over what other people are doing. Try to just do what you can do. And try to not hold yourself to unrealistic standards. God, I sound like a self-help book. I'm sorry about that. Do I need to set the game to easy mode? How do I, wait. How do I change the options? Very hard, hardest. I'm not gonna do ultra easy. Because that's bad, but I guess I'll lower it by 1 and see how that goes. I just get 1 extra life per credit. I don't think it actually lowers anything else. It might be making you feel uncomfortable by only talking about you, especially since you said you aren't, like, really, well, I don't know. I'm going to stop talking about you or asking you things because I'm worried I might be making you feel uncomfortable or like I'm putting you on the spot. I didn't want to. Okay. Good topic to talk about. No, it's fine. I'm having trouble thinking about things at the moment. So I can't think of anything right now, so I'm just going to say for the Demon Slayer game, due to being busy, I haven't watched too much of Demon Slayer. I watched, the first season, I think the second season maybe, but I didn't actually watch the movie or anything. Though I've had people ruin some of it for me. And I'm going. So I wonder, what character... Well, I mean, I already saw the characters are in the game, so I guess I should say that. I need to... No. I am a jumbled mess of things, going umming and ahhing and yes, totally. This is the most engaging of content. Listen to fool make awkward noises. While neither being good at the game or conversation. Ha ha ha! And I already went through all the lives I had in 1 credit on easy mode, so that's bad. I guess I'll make things about myself again, since, I always seem to. I am somebody who likes eating nice food when I actually save up money to be able to do it. Like I mentioned the other day or yesterday rather, I enjoy taking my friends out for places to eat that are nice. Like, not just random feelings, usually it's to celebrate something. Like, my friend finally got his own place. And, well, I guess I can say this, but for a short period of time, he was living with me, with his girlfriend, because, well, issues. The place that was supposed to be, helping him get a place to live, was taking months to get back to him. Of course, the simple thing is that he did not ask anyone at the company that he was there for, that he was going through, to tell him or ask them what's taking so long. He just dealt with the representative who was apparently doing some not good things. But anyway, I did a big celebration thing for my friends where one of my friends was finally finishing the certifications and stuff that he was doing. And as I said, my friend finally got a place to live, and he was moving out of my house, which was, I don't have a house. I have a very small, I have a condo, so it's not, or I use a unit, but whatever. Okay, whatever, it doesn't matter. But finally getting to move out and getting a place of his own, as well as celebrating. I had multiple friends over, and each of them basically had something happen that was great. One of my friends finally got a job after looking for a very long time. Another one finally managed to succeed in graduating from the classes and certifications he was taking. So I took them to a place which was a Japanese barbecue restaurant. By the way, you're not vegan or vegetarian, are you? Just making sure, because this is a meat-heavy place. So if you're not interested or you don't like that stuff, I don't want to be like, oh, and the meat was so great. It's like, I think eating meat is murder. Which, I mean, technically is, but, you know, it's you know. Alright, well, have you heard of Wagyu? Or Wagyu beef? Well, at the place I took my friends, there were like 6 or 7 of us total, and basically I got a bunch of Wagyu and other things. So, and it was Japanese A5 Wagyu, which is the really good stuff. The problem in America is a lot of the a lot of the stuff that's listed as Wagyu in America is, well, not Wagyu, or technically it has 1/8 of, like, you know, relations to Wagyu, because in the past there was a very brief moment in time in which Japan exported like their cattle to America, and essentially, oh no, I keep going big in this game. I'm sorry. So basically, during the brief period of time which they did export cattle, there were some cows that were crossbred with the Wagyu cows from Japan. Now, depending on the ranch, the cows may be bred with other cows that have the Wagyu bloodline, so in that case they are more, you know, they are more closely related to actual Japanese Wagyu cows. But most of the time when you get Wagyu in America, since it's unregulated, they basically need to, at some point in time, there had to have had some ancestor which was related to that cow. So in some cases it's like there's 1% Wagyu cat DNA in that cow. So, you know, it's like the white people who go like, I'm 1/80th Cherokee. Where basically all it means is that, well, white people would just be pretentiousness, while for that Wagyu and American Wagyu, it means they just jack up the price, but it may just be indistinguishable from regular meat. Real Wagyu is, like, you can tell the difference. It has a lot of fat in it, but it's good and it tastes great. The fat isn't like, I don't know, it's sort of hard to describe, because it's really, really good, and it's not off-putting. Like, if there was as much fat as you'd see like in A5 Wagyu in like normal American meat, it would probably be gross. But because the fat tastes very good, and because of the way the cows are raised, Wagyu cows, or like, you know, in Japan, they are raised very well. They believe, and it's shown to be true, that the less stress an animal goes through, the better tasting it's like, well, the meat will be. So Wagyu cattle are have a bunch of things done to them, like they're massaged, they're fed things that they like, they're given beer, they play soothing music, they are given plenty of room for them to move around. If you want to eat guilt-free meat, Wagyu is a good choice. However, Wagyu is also really, really expensive. Ow. But anyways, like we went to this place where it was a Japanese grill. I ordered, also I'm going to state this. This place was good because it has specials where you order these things meant for multiple people and you get a discount on it. Or it's cheaper to buy it than it would be if I had just bought the things individually. So we got a ton of meat. And had a bunch of things. Why did that bell disappear? There it is. I just suck at this. It was really, really good, to just put it simply. It was probably one of the best meals I've ever had. I'm also not going to repeat that. Because as I said, I was paying for my friends and 6 people, or 6 or 7 people, well, wait 1 second, it was me, yeah, it was 6 people, and everything I got was basically, I had been saving up for months to go here and, you know, do that stuff. So basically, I spent way too much money. This was also during the winter, so I used my entire holiday bonus in addition to saving. But it was like $800 after tip. Of course, I gave a good tip too, so you know that's like, you know. But it was really, really good. Actually, have you ever been to like a Korean barbecue or Japanese barbecue type place? Well, the place most Korean barbecue places are not like that expensive. A lot of them have all you can eat for like, you know, around, depending on whether you're eating for lunch or dinner or you're doing the premium options, like within the $20 or $30 range. So, you know, as I said, I was going to a premium place and literally ordering the most expensive stuff, so it's not going to be that expensive there. But basically, you have a grill in the middle of the table where they will basically cook the meat there. Your experience at Korean barbecue or Japanese barbecue will depend upon whether you're with people who know how to cook properly. If you don't cook the meat properly, you could possibly get sick, obviously, you know, from eating undercooked meat, which is not ideal, to say the least. But when it's done right, it's hard to beat. It's really good and it's really fun. They have a bunch of different options, and it's sort of nice. Although, in my case, I was the one who was stuck doing all the grilling. So my friends got to talk and have fun while I was the one, doing all the cooking of the meat. Also, the meat is also very thin, sliced very thinly. Except for a few cuts, which are like the steaks. Those steaks are whole to begin with, but after being cooked a bit on both sides, they're cut into strips. It's a really nice social thing. I recommend trying it. Where's me wallet? No parking here. Noted, thanks. Teeth in me soup. Where's me wallet? God, I'd say that sounds generically British, but this is like translated by British people or people from the UK. Yeah, sorry about that. I once again got that speaker, and the speaker was saying things like, just weird stuff. Usually in Korean barbecue too, it will come with these little side dishes, which are normally like pickled vegetables, kimchi, or other stuff. I should probably ask, do you like Korean food, or have you had Korean food? Do you have an interest, or are you... I'm just because, I'm an adventurous eater. I'll try almost anything, except for stuff which, is like, this stuff is made by making an animal suffer. I don't like that stuff. Or this stuff, this coffee is made by having a cat animal, a cat, or something related to a cat, eat it, and then poop it out. It is the height of coffee. Like that, I'm not going to try. Now, I'm sorry, I'm not going to drink your poop drink. Even if people do swear that it is the best tasting coffee ever. I don't even like coffee. But yeah, some people like trying things, and then other people just want to, I like a hamburger, or I like this simple dish. I want to just eat this simple dish. So, though to be perfectly honest, oftentimes when eating this type of stuff, your experience is dependent upon what your first experience of it was. If you go to a Chinese restaurant for the first time and that place is not good, or you get sick from it, then your view of Chinese food is going to be bad. Just like if you eat sushi for the first time and you get a bug, or you get sick from it, then, you're going to be like, I don't like sushi at all. By the way, do you like sushi? Have you ever tried sea urchin? Or uni, rather. Be careful with uni. It's regardless of, the quality of it, it's going to be expensive if you try it. And the problem is, cheap or bad quality uni tastes vile. If your first experience trying it is the bad kind, you're going to basically be like, I never want to eat this ever again. I don't even want to see it. But if you have like decent or good quality uni, then it may be become one of your favorite sushi or types of sushi. Like it's when it's great, it has a sort of like lightly salty, nice texture. It tastes like the sea in a good way. However, when it's poor, it's a poor quality, it's slimy. It's tastes like the sea, and it's dirt near like a runoff, like some kind of chemical runoff. Not very good, to say the least. But as I said, it's one of my favorite types of sushi. It's just you gotta be careful. It's literally shooting upgrades at me. That's weird. Just, if you can afford it or try, recommend. Damn. And I'm dead. I did a bad job. Oops. I think I'm going to like stop playing Parodius here, and I'll just, I guess, talk because, you know, I'm not doing well in either case, and it might be more interesting for content if I just talk there. So, 1 second. I'm going to, I guess, let's see. Oops, 1 second. The studio here. That there. Let's see. Oh, I type stupid thing. It's like, no, I don't want you to mark my location. Okay, images, let's see. Okay, screen share. This is what uni looks like. It's basically sea urchin roe, or sea urchin eggs. It doesn't, I have to admit, it doesn't, especially if you haven't tried it and liked it, it doesn't exactly look the most appealing. It's like, oh my god, insert an unflattering thing this looks like. But it is, as I said, if you get good uni, or even just, I guess, average uni, it tastes really good. But if a place is not known for making it, I would really not recommend you try it. If a place is supposedly good at it, then absolutely, if you can afford it, and if it's just to celebrate something, then maybe try it. I'm able to afford to occasionally go to a nice place because I normally avoid spending money like the plague. I only buy games on Steam sales, and lately I've been going back and forth my weight, so I'm using my disposable income I have on the games right now, but I normally just don't buy anything or don't buy stuff like that. Um, like, I guess I'll also just go like here. Let's see. A5. Let's see. Images. This is what A5 Wagyu looks like. Obviously, this is it being raw. I mean, even looking at it, it looks different than regular beef. It is like, if you ever get the chance to try actual A5 Wagyu, I mean, you should try it, but as I said, the problem is it's hideously expensive. And then here's the thing. Even if you can afford it, you don't eat much of it. Because as you can see, this is a very fatty piece of meat. So the point of it is you eat a small amount of it. It's wonderful. It's probably the best tasting beef you've had. By the way, it's called A5 because in Japan there's a rating for the Wagyu. A1 is the lowest ranked. A5 is the highest ranked. It also relates, I believe, to the fat that you can see here that's interlaced with, like the A5 has the most of this fat here. It's, as I said, it's sort of hard to describe because, until I actually ate real Wagyu, I thought that I was used to the American Wagyu stuff where they go like, this is Wagyu. And it's just like, no, it's just basically an American cow who, generations ago had one ancestor who was slightly related to a actual Wagyu cattle. It's American beef, but the actual Wagyu stuff is just, it has a sort of fatty taste, but like in a really good way. The fat is, well, for one, American cattle, I'm not going to go too far into how American cows are raised because, that's not a subject a lot of people want to hear about. But for American cattle, the reason why they get fat is basically because they are fed a lot of stuff to try to bulk up fat, which is why there's a lot of fat sort of like on the edge. But Wagyu cattle live longer as well, and their fat is sort of like interspersed more evenly throughout their body rather than, becoming like an obese person, where it's just sort of like I'm after saying that, I should probably clarify, or else it sounds like I'm going like, screw fat people. Like, no, I am overweight. I'm lucky in that I have an inverse T body type, which, is great if I wanted to be a bodybuilder or something, but the main problem I have is if you look at me now, I have more of a pear-shaped body, I guess people would say, but, naturally I have very broad shoulders and a slim waist, but, when you've gained weight, it doesn't look like you're that overweight. And that's why I'm angry at people who go like when I was trying to lose weight, when I started gaining it in the past, because I used to be in great shape, people kept going like, no, stop. You are fine. It's unhealthy body standards and all that other stuff. And, if I could go back in time, I would tell those people to shut the hell up and let me do it and let me, like, cut back. If somebody wants to lose weight or somebody wants to, work out more to get into better shape, if it's not detrimental, like obviously, if someone is anorexic, stop them. But if someone wants to lose a bit of weight, then that's good because once once you get to the point of where you're obese, you've developed habits and it's a lot harder to, correct those habits. Because you're used to that. In addition, surprise, surprise, when you weigh more and you move around less and you're in worse shape, it's a lot harder to work out. I mean, I'm lucky in that I'm still pretty strong, but it's just that my options for working out aren't exactly great. Like, I don't know. Since I do manual labor, I've still got a lot of strength, but we're not talking about me. I'm sorry. Is there another thing I could talk about that would be interesting? Also, I like talking about fancy food I've had, but, oh yeah? What? Hmm? So I was just, you said, oh yeah, so I'm just, on the Demon Slayer game, you have to do a tutorial before playing online. Okay. Well, when I get back from work today, I'll try to do that. And I'll try playing Demon Slayer, I guess. Well, first I need to check to see if my First I need to see if my checks went through, and then I'll need to potentially get the stuff. And then then I'll play the tutorial, and then I guess, try streaming? Or would you rather not, if I play a game with you, would you rather not me stream it? I don't work very long, many hours, because I've screwed up my back. Fractured spine and lasting nerve damage in my arm mean that I don't exactly do terribly well. Especially since, my boss has me. Oh man, I was supposed to cut back my work this year. And, as soon as I started slowing down, 2 of the experienced workers left. So now I have to pick up some of their slack. Or the people who could have picked up my slack have now left. Oh wait, I'm starting to go into a depressing topic. Changing the thing, little fun detail. I grew up in Maryland. I mean, I've moved, so it's like I am comfortable saying that. But I found out recently that that a lot of the fancy steakhouses in New York actually import their meat from like a butcher shop in Maryland, which I think is sort of crazy. Because if you know anything about Maryland, we're not exactly well known. Many people will look on the map, see, like, identify these American states, and then they see Maryland, like, what the fuck is that? And to be fair, we don't got a lot. And most Marylanders I know don't know most of our state food and stuff like that. I guess I'll show you some stuff. Oh, yes. Since you like to bake, I guess it might be interesting. Oops, no. I can't spell. The state dessert of Maryland is the Smith Island cake, which I have a picture up on the screen, which is basically a regular cake that's been cut multiple times to have a number of layers. Unfortunately, the reason why it's most places, I don't know where to get any of them. Well, I mean, I know you can get them on Smith Island, but a lot of the other places, the more convenient places to where I used to live, don't have it. So, and there are different versions of the cake. Some of them are really tall, some of them are there. I've been told I ate one, but I think I ate one when I was like 5, or had a slice of one. I didn't eat an entire cake by myself. I can do that. Well, no, not now, but I like to eat, but I also, just to specify, especially since I've been talking about ultra fancy foods, most of the time I go out to eat, I'm eating at fast food or McDonald's. And even then, I'm usually just ordering something small. It's not like, oh, every single day I go out to eat Wagyu meat and sushi. Oh, yes, don't you see how fancy I am? Oh, I have no idea where my money goes. I just, eat sushi and, like, expensive imported meat every day. Because I did have friends who were like that, where they were just like, they came from stupid levels of wealth. It's funny, one of my friends thinks my family's rich when we're not. We are middle class. We basically, my parents saved well and, didn't make bad financial investments. And they're pretty smart with their money. If I got into like a horrible accident, then, or anyone did, then we are in financial trouble. I've actually met like wealthy people where it's just like, oh, well, look at me. We have several vacation homes that we own. And I'm sort of lucky because I've had dirt poor friends and I've also had really rich friends. And I've sort of seen the disparity. And it's sort of funny when, how the children of the rich don't understand the struggles of the people who are not rich. Like, I had to get my current computer, I had to, as I said, work myself to the point of injury. And I remember in college, my roommate basically left his computer on with 100 different processes. So what ended up happening is his PC melted. Because, as I said, he was running a ton of different processes and he'd just leave it on all day long. And it was a high performance PC. If I remember correctly, within the next day, he already had a brand new computer. Like, a brand new custom computer. Though, that friend came from, like, okay, I can't talk about that friend. There's a lot of neat stories about him, but if I talk about it, you could figure out who he is. So I won't. His parents were very nice, very Republican, but very nice. But more importantly, they were the good kinds of Republicans. The kinds who are, horrified by Fox News and are don't get me wrong, they were kind of stubborn and they are very Christian, but they weren't the kind of, I mean, they were their parents were very friendly, and I mean, I hope they're doing well. Their son kind of went in a bad direction. Like, he was the typical case of an atheist who, well, he became an atheist because his family's ultra religious. Not like, crazed. Well, not ultra religious is too much to say, but they were more religious than normal people, but not at the level of which it was insufferable. However, when his father found out that he was atheist, his dad did cry because he was worried about the soul of his son. The problem is, this friend of mine, or former friend, found religion because, he was a lonely person. And when you go to a church or religious gathering, there's a community there. And basically, he felt like people cared, so he became basically ultra religious. And unfortunately, the people at the church he decided to go to, which I'm pretty sure is separate from the one his parents went to, also held anti-Semitic, anti-Islamic, and just a bunch of other bad views. And when you're telling your Jewish friends about your new anti-Semitic views, that's I just decided that I don't want to deal with him. I was going through I feel sort of bad that I just cut ties, because I really should have been there to try and help steer him back on the right course, because as I said, he didn't have many friends. But as I said, at that time I was going through a lot of stuff, and the last thing I also told him that just Muslim people aren't all evil. It's just the few bad eggs are making everyone else look bad. And he was stating really dumb stuff like, hey, anyone in the Middle East could stand up to, Al-Qaeda and say no. But they're sheep because they're letting it happen. It's like, no. They don't have guns. And in a lot of these cases, these extremist groups are, have taken over regions. They don't have a police force that could stop them. I mean, it's sort of crazy just how ignorant some people are of things, and just how he kept going on about that, and yes, they're all bad. And I was just like, I've told you, man, I have Muslim family friends who I know have had it hard. Okay, I'm changing the subject because this is depressing. Have you heard of burger cookies? They're another Maryland state thing. Is it burger? One second. Actually, how do you? Let's see. Because it's not spelled like, hamburger. Okay, well, it's not supposed to be spelled like burger. But these are, oh yes, yeah, burger, like with an E. Or burgers, cookies, yes. So, like, you see, this is them. It's basically like, you see like a vanilla cookie with fudge put on top of it. They're not exactly low cal, as you can see, but they're really good. I avoid them like the plague. Of course, you know, these pictures aren't exactly a fair representation of them, because normally when you get these, they are like, they put a bunch of the cookies down and then they just sort of like spread on the fudge. So some of them are like, you know, misshapen but coated in fudge and chocolate, and it's just really, really good. They are, I guess, more of a Baltimore thing, but you can get them in grocery stores. I think they're called burgers because burgers is the bakery that makes them, and then they just export it. There are a few other things. I guess you were more interested in the Smith Island cake, but yeah. Uh, I'm sorry for being weird this entire session. Either way, I guess I have to go now because not I guess I need to go now. I need to finish getting ready for work. Um, yeah, sorry about asking too many personal questions and if I made you feel uncomfortable. Um, I really got to go now, so I'll see you later. Hopefully. I mean, I should, but I'll no. All right. Bye.